they're fine. And I've got a antibacterial handle on it too. But you have to have regards to, they've got debris on them and stuff.
The antibacterial, I mean, that stuff is good. The main thing is just getting complete soap and water for winters, but yes.
One of the favorite places that our free-range chickens like to go is under the bird feeders to catch the seeds. Is that wrong?
That probably is a fairly high-risk thing. If you can, I understand why they like it. You know, I mean, it's a good variety of stuff because those birds are messy. They're flinging all kinds of stuff out, and I understand. But if you can put your feeders somewhere else so that your chickens don't have access to underneath, I think that would be wise.
Same thing like with a bird bath. I don't have one, but I was thinking about getting a bird bath.
Yeah, it would be best because yeah, they get in there and their feathers are flying and everything else. And yeah, I would think that's something you can do that's pretty painless, and yet I think goes a long way to keeping your birds healthy. Yes, sir.
Are there any diseases transmitted by, like, so you got the field mice and of course the coyotes and coons. I don't know if references to those. Are there any chicken diseases that you concerned
Well,
about?
like, not that they harbor. There are a number of bacteria that here, but I don't think they're too much of an issue with chickens. The thing is more likely is where have they been and what might they track in, which could be about anything. Or on the other hand, if it was a rat, and they'll just eat just about anything, and they'd eat a dead bird probably if it was fairly fresh. And so then in their feces, they can certainly excrete viruses or bacteria that you'd be concerned about. So it's not that they carry them biologically, but mechanically they're more likely they could carry some. So it's, if you've got a rodent problem, you should take care of it for your own family's health anyway, because things like hantavirus, for instance, if you've got mice around and you're out there cleaning up a dusty area, boy, you're putting yourself at risk. So,
But in the country, unless you never get rid of all the field
well, you never get rid of them, but you can control them, keep the level down, and that's about all you're going to do.
One other question is it reasonable to allow the chickens access to the compost pile?
To a compost pile, I wouldn't have a problem with that very much. Compost, especially if you've got a good compost pile, it gets hot fast and stuff gets killed in it, and the stuff that's on the surface is exposed to sunlight. Unless the source of materials were coming from somewhere that you were pretty sure, had exposed to birds. But I mean, if you're talking about grass clippings, household vegetable waste, and all that's going into it, I wouldn't worry about it. Yes?
One thing you might think about, those who know I just do my food every day and throw it out in the pile, and I found the birds going through it, so I pinched it off because I've got several different pens, different ages, different birds, and I don't want them clawing around in there in another bird's feces. So
Yeah, that's a good
something
point.
I think it depends on what you're composting.
Yes?
Oh.
I'm sorry.
I
Yes.
just wanted to say, he said to himself that I would over and over again that those antibacterial gels from Hank, they really don't do much. Old-fashioned soap and water. Get your hands clean. Those gels, I don't use them. I don't know.
Well,
Whether it helps the chickens or just, yourself, whatever.
I think they do kill bacteria, but yeah, the biggest thing you're absolutely right is just getting your hands really clean. And if your hands get clean and they get dry, you're not going to harbor much on it. Yes.
We're babysitting a granddog for 3 weeks, and the lady's 2 hens, have just a run of that. And the dog, I love dogs, but we don't have dogs, and so he goes out there, and I'm trying not to be obsessive about it, but I'm scooping it when I'm spraying the dog.
if there was somebody, if the, you know, if next door neighbor you had chickens running everywhere and it was kind of messy, and the dog went over there and came back over here, that's a whole different story then. But if you keep your dog at home, it's probably fine. Anything else?
Any other questions, on preventing disease or writing any kind of signs or anything of that nature? Good.
Left some of my business cards back there on the table too. I don't think I probably had enough for everybody here, but I left what I did bring. And feel free to take one and call me with any questions you have. Don't always know the answer, but I usually have some pretty good contacts, and I can usually find out and get back to you.
And you're also on a meter member still, I think. So
Yeah.
Michael Greenlee, I think is your
Yeah.
meter member. So you can also contact him through the meter board that way. So.
Michelle,
Thank you very
maybe you know the answer to this. Is the ag extension service open yet? About a week or so ago, when the roof fell in.
The extension is open. Does anyone know if the extension service is open?
So here in Travis County?
Yeah.
Well, I was out of state. I didn't know that.
I was in state.
The move to Kingston out.
I don't know.
I don't know when it's reopened.
I'll bet they are, because I don't think with all, you know, a lot of the other, usually they well, I should talk. I'll bet they're open.
Shuffle it around somehow.
Yeah, some way, you know, we all try to, usually don't stay down very long.
Thank you again. Let's give a